stuff together.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. What's going on, y'all? Cowboy Bebop is one of my favorite anime of all time. So when Netflix announced that they were doing a live action adaptation, I was nervous, y'all. Come on, let's talk about this because Death Note was a disaster. A disaster. That was not Death Note at all, y'all. Look, I love L and Light Yagami, but Lakeith Stanfield was not L. I'm sorry, but I was nervous, so coming into this, I was just very cautiously excited because, of course, Cowboy Bebop, and then the more the trailers came out, the better they got. Because at first, I don't know if I was liking the looks. I like wardrobe and how they looked in the pictures. I don't know how I was feeling with the trailers. Then a final trailer came along and I was on board. So I came into this very cautiously optimistic, and luckily I can walk out of it actually liking this direction, and I think that they are stepping into a positive direction with live action anime adaptations because they've got One Piece coming up, they've got Yu Yu Hakusho. One Piece just announces casting, Yu Yu Hakusho, nothing announced with casting or anything yet, but they are running full speed ahead, and I'm talking Netflix with the anime adaptations. So Cowboy Bebop, guys, honestly, I'm gonna do things a little bit different here. I'm gonna just dive right into what works, guys. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. So what works for the Cowboy Bebop live action adaptation, guys? What really works is our main cast. John Cho, Mustafa Shakir, and Daniela Pineda are incredible as their characters. I think they pull off a great interpretation, because I don't want to say they're exactly the same, but they pull off a really great interpretation of these characters. Seriously, Daniela Pineda shines as Faye Valentine. She brings out the best in both Cho and Shakir as their characters, because I gotta say, starting off the series, I was a little, but they really got to be a lot better along the ride when Faye comes along and actually rounds out the trio. So I really like the trio. I think they have the personalities down. I think they have the attributes of the characters down. There are a couple added details in this version that I'm not at liberty to discuss yet, but there are some details added that some are good choices, some are not. Vicious and Julia are a part of this series. As you know, if you watch the trailers, they're a part of it. There is a little bit more of an active involvement. So I gotta be very brief and I gotta be very vague, because let me tell you guys, I'm not at liberty to discuss a lot because that'll spoil it for y'all. And big shout out to Netflix. Thanks for hooking this up early. But the three main casts, they do a very good job. The music, y'all, the music is still Cowboy Bebop. The music is still Cowboy Bebop. We still got this amazing jazz, this amazing synths, this great space opera jazz going on that just blends in so well with the different fight scenes and the adventures that they go on. And I love that aspect of it. I just think that there's so much to offer from the music of Cowboy Bebop. It enhances the viewing experience so much. Did in the original anime, does it here as well. And I like the fight choreography. In the first episode, a little shoddy, but it started getting better and better along the way, and I was very happy with how much better it started getting. And honestly, I want to say the first couple episodes I was not really feeling, but then I got to about episode 3, 4, it started kicking in for me, y'all. And of course, lovely little Ein. He is amazing, guys. He's so adorable. I just love Ein, and his role in this is so good, just like in the original Bebop series. But I really do like our main trio, and I do really enjoy the wardrobe. Like the wardrobe, on point. Absolutely on point. John Cho, man, he delivers as Spike. I was nervous the first episode, but when he interacts with other characters, he really does a good job as this character. When he's alone, sometimes he can get a little bit stiff, but all in all, I think he put up a great performance as Spike Spiegel, and I think that this is a step in the right direction. I keep saying that because we know how live action anime adaptations are, so we know that there's an expectation of it being bad, low quality. This is actually pretty good quality. So those things line up, but also I really do like the episodes and the villains from the anime that they do include. They actually include quite a few characters from the anime. Anna, Julia, and Vicious are included, and they have a few heavier roles in the series, which I'll get to that a little bit later, but those three are involved a little bit more in Cowboy Bebop, and that's all I can say because I can't say too much. But another question that I'm going to answer for y'all: how is live action versus the anime? Let's be real, y'all. The anime, the source material, it's always going to be better. Maybe in some cases, it may not be, but the source material of Cowboy Bebop is just so hard to top. For me, at least, I'm a huge Cowboy Bebop fan, and I just love following the Bebop team around many different adventures and how Spike's past in the anime unravels later on in the series. I just love how it is, and I just love the anime, the music, the fight choreography, Spike Spiegel, all the characters, Jet, Faye, Ein. I just love the characters in the anime, and I think that it's a little hard to get that same exact and capture that same exact feeling in live action, but this got as close as I think it could. Rurouni Kenshin live action is a little bit better, but this got as close as I think it could. So all in all, good wardrobe, cool main actors, great character cameos from the anime, which I guess are not really cameos, but another thing I wanted to touch on is the live action in some ways goes its own way. It does borrow and is heavily inspired by the anime, but it goes with its own kind of story and moves the story along in its own way and its own pacing, and it has its own flows and flavors, and it also has a couple little choices to make it separate from the anime, and it's pretty sleek and stylish, and the color palette is great. Like, guys, I have a lot of good things to say about it, but I also have some bad things to touch on that I've got to dance around and be vague about, so be prepared. But let's talk about what doesn't quite work. And one of the things that doesn't quite work for me is, I was talking about Spike's acting earlier. Sometimes some people in this series, namely Julia and Vicious, overact. Well, let me back that up. Vicious kind of overacts, and I don't think I need this 90s cheesy style over the top villain this time. Like, I know that Vicious is named Vicious, but maybe the actor could have toned it down a couple times. It was just starting to get a little too much. And Julia and Vicious and their backstory and involvement in this story is just a little heavy. I think that in the original Cowboy Bebop anime, they really do a good job of just taking us on adventures with the Bebop crew, and then there's stuff brewing in the background with the Syndicate and with Vicious and Julia, because we see it through Spike and we see different visions and pieces of the past. But here they have a much heavier involvement, and sometimes it works, sometimes it really doesn't. And I just want more focus on the Bebop crew. I want to go on more adventures. I want to go across the galaxy. I want to hunt bounties with them. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be with the Bebop crew. And unfortunately, there were moments that were pulled away from the Bebop crew, but I can't go too much into that backstory because I'm not at liberty to say. But I will say that was like one glaring issue for me. And then another problem I had, some of the visuals didn't look too great, namely some ships just looked lit weird, so it just didn't look organic and it didn't look believable. And also, they really like to use tilted angles. And look, I like me a nice spicy Dutch tilt when it's perfect timing for it, but when you've got an angle here and it's just like, okay, the next cut is here, the next cut is slanted like this, the next cut is slanted like that. When you just have all these slanted angles back and forth, I get that they're trying to kind of make this dramatic anime style feel to the visuals and the camera work, but it just became a little overwhelming for me. And then Julia, I'm not sure I really like the actress that was chosen, unfortunately. I just think that some of the lines feel really forced out of her, and I just wasn't feeling some of her line delivery. But guys, y'all let me know down in the comments how you're feeling about the Cowboy Bebop live action series. As I said, even with its wealth of problems, there are a lot of positives about it as well. I think this is going to be a little divisive because I know that we are passionate about anime and passionate about that source material, and I understand that there are going to be some people that don't quite like this. And hey, you know what? I get it. I completely understand, because that Death Note adaptation was horrible. Dragon Ball Evolution, we don't even speak about anymore. So I totally get it. But I think, for me, at least personally, I have a little more faith in the One Piece and Yu Yu Hakusho adaptations after this, and I think with a little tweaking, there will be a perfect formula at some point, and I think, like I say, and I've said several times in the review, this is a step in the right direction. Guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If I had to give a rating to Cowboy Bebop, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Really enjoyed what I saw. I do want more, but I don't know that I love it. Actually, I do know. I don't love it as much as the anime. Not nearly as much as the anime. The anime is a 9.5 out of 10 for me, and this is a 7 out of 10. So unfortunately, it kind of dances past the anime, but them including so many characters in different environments and things from the anime, very well done. So guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you're gonna be checking out Cowboy Bebop, let me know, and we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.